Okay, let's talk Northern Sausage. January 2025, I found the burnt peanut. I was watching his streams and he was having a lot of fun, and I had a lot of ideas that started sparking. Like, I'm not an idiot. I know how to use a PC pretty well. I know how to use certain platforms fairly well. So I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna do it as well. But I'm gonna do my own thing. Now, obviously, being inspired by the burnt peanut, you can imagine my reaction when Peanut came into the stream in September with Officer Fatass, and they both basically advocated for what I was doing. They respect like my creative decision, and they also feel like I'm original. Being told by the exact person that everybody else hates me for because of, if that makes any sense. Paraphrasing, everybody else can suck a fart out. Like, the guy himself is chill, has told me to keep sizzling. Like, the community is called the Sizzlers because of Peanut, because he told me to keep sizzling. You can imagine how that felt. This leads to the decision of the name, because all my other previous names on the internet revolved around my real name. Northern Sausage encapsulates me, not just because I'm a sausage, but it encapsulates me as a whole. I'm proud to be a northerner, English northerner, born in Cumbria, grew up in Yorkshire, made in the royal gravy. Sausage means a lot to me as well, because you might just think, oh, it's just a food item, but to me, it's what my dad called me often. If you call a young kid a sausage, you know, you just kind of like, it's just a nice way of calling them an idiot. And it also, for me as a grown-up, for an adult, if you call an adult a sausage, it's almost like you're calling them childish in some form, because you normally call a kid a sausage, but if you call an adult a sausage, it's got infantile nature. And one of the key things that I like to really shout and bawl about when it comes to being online, playing video games, enjoying yourself, it's, you know, don't feel like you need to hold yourself back. If you want to act like a kid, you know, being a bit silly, just let yourself go a little bit and enjoy who you really are, without the worries of people going, you're a grown man. Like, you're literally a grown man. You're pushing 40, by the way. You're a grown man. Why are you acting like this? This is ridiculous. You shouldn't be acting like this as a grown man. You've got kids. Why are you acting like this? You're married. You might not be married, but you're in a partnership. You're a grown man. Why are you acting like this? Get a job. You haven't got a job. Stop acting like a child. My whole philosophy is do whatever you feel like you enjoy the most. And if that's being a silly sausage as a 29, 35, 42, 64, 46, 57-year-old, then fucking do it, you know? Just enjoy yourself. So Northern Sausage, that's where Northern Sausage came from. And it just made absolute sense for me. And because I was going to start a new journey of streaming and content creation and building something, it made sense for it to be a VTubing character that's inspired by the burnt peanut. But as time's gone on, you know, we're approaching, I think I've been doing this now for about 11 months, 10 months. Since I started, there's been a absolute oversaturation. And not only that, we've got some certain names that have tarnished this style of streaming unless you're at the top. So at the top, we'll say this, right? At the top, you've got the burnt peanut. And then who's the next name that comes to your mind when you think about the next step down from the burnt peanut? It's the FaithfulSheriff, you know, the horribly disgusting human being that forces the Bible down kids' throats, tells Muslims that they're going to hell, defends the use of the N-word as a white man. Just an all-round shitter, really. And the unfortunate reality is that anybody else that's underneath him, and by underneath him I mean like in the scale of so-called popularity, you know, if you're going to put numbers to it, or the amount of people that know them, anybody that's under them will be compared to them or be put in the same bracket as them. And that's kind of spoiling my enjoyment of being a sausage. It's spoiling the potential that my content and my charisma has. I want to be able to do good things. And I feel like with being painted with a particular type of brush, it kind of covers up the words underneath, if you understand what I mean by that. Metaphorical nonsense. The thing is, the stream and what we've been doing with the stream since the start, we've made a lot of headway in the sense of I've got a very unique stream. We've got the sausage board, we've got the background game that you guys play when you watch the stream. The more you watch, the more opportunity you've got of getting your own skin, you know, being immortalized in the stream. We've got some other things in the background of, you know, we've got the monthly sausage leaderboard, and then we've got the battle pass, I suppose you could call it, where you can actually receive items that relate to the stream and relate to Northern Sausage. And it's just like a really fun thing to be a part of. I think the community that we've built is an amazing group of people. The regular people that are in this community, which is like sub 20, we're all getting quite close with each other, and I think it's enjoyable to be a part of. And I do think that if it wasn't for you lot, you know, working with each other and playing with each other and just getting involved in this whole thing, it wouldn't be at the state that it's in now. But what we have to recognize as well is that I'm not that big, you know, like I'm not a big time streamer. I've had people recognize me in games and things like that, but I'm no Angry Ginge, I'm no Burnt Peanut, I'm nobody like that. So I'm not really in a position, I kind of feel like this is kind of a pointless video to make, to be honest, because I'm kind of nobody. But I do know that I'm somebody to some people. What's more important is that I am somebody to myself. Like, the Northern Sausage is something that's important to me. If it wasn't for Northern Sausage, I don't feel like I'd be, you know, back living with my missus and being around my kids. I don't feel like I'd be enjoying life as much as I would be doing. The creation of Northern Sausage and the streams and things like that have been really, really beneficial to my mental health, because I used to be really fucked. Like, there's been stages of my adult life where I can't even associate myself with them anymore. I can recognize the mistakes that I'd made because I've just ascended kind of as a person. I think we're at a point now where it's time to make a change. So Northern Sausage isn't going anywhere. Like, I always will be Northern Sausage. My entire life I'll be a Northern Sausage. But when it comes to what you see on the screen, I think it might be time to make a change. Northern Sausage, me right here, Wiggly Wiggly Wiggly, will, I think, become a novelty of the stream. But I think it might be time to start showing my human body, because I feel like this is what I want to do. I have the same thought every day of, would I still enjoy myself if I wasn't sausage? If I went the direction of not being a sausage, would I be able to go back? And the reality is, it doesn't really matter. It's about what I enjoy. And if I enjoy myself, then everyone else will enjoy themselves. I'm just thinking about the future, and I'm thinking about why I do this in the first place. And that's to enjoy myself, to spread a message that you don't have to act like people think you should act. That you should be able to let your inner child out, be whoever it is that you want to be. Don't feel pressured by any external factors. You could think that I'm being hypocritical, that this is a reaction to the hate that I get, because I'd say that if 100% of the interactions that I get with the internet, I'd say 80% is hate, 20% is acceptance. Like, this isn't a reaction to that. It's not a reaction to the hate. The hate hasn't made me think, but it has in the past. It has made me think in the past. But this is more of a introspective thought process and less of a reactionary movement. I enjoy being a sausage, but I don't need to look like a sausage to be a sausage, because I just am one. Yeah.